Hello, everyone. It's Adam Caton Holland from the smash hit podcast, The Grawlix Saves the World. And I'm here to tell you that we just dropped a new Boi Crazy episode. That's right. And what you're about to listen to is a teaser of that episode. And some of you are like, Boi Crazy? What's Boi Crazy? Catch up. Boi Crazy is the podcast within the podcast. And on Boi Crazy, we break down the hunkitude of just hunks all over the place. It's three 40-something dads talking hunks. We pulled in, oh my God, do we have such a get on this one? We pulled in Kyle Kinane, okay? Kyle Kinane is on this Boi Crazy episode. Yes, you all know Kyle. You all love Kyle. You should be watching his new special, Shocks and Struts. But you can listen to him right now on this episode. So we're going to give you a sneak peek right here that's dropped into your feed. You can listen to a little bit of this Boi Crazy episode. If you want the whole episode, it's available on Patreon, patreon.com/Grawlix Saves. But we just wanted to hit you with a little taste. So enjoy this teaser. Go join us on Patreon and listen to the full episode. And until then, stay Boi Crazy, y'all. Stay Boi Crazy.
Boi Crazy. Oh my freaking God. Are we fucking here? Are we really doing this, y'all? Welcome back to Boi Crazy. Honestly, this is the podcast we'd all prefer to do. This, of course, the podcast where we, three 40-something-year-old dads, appraise the hunk worthiness of hunks of today or yesteryear. And this is not sexual, all right?
There's nothing sexual about it. It is a scientific survey of hunks across time and space.
Exactly. My name is Ben Roy. I never get to introduce
I'm Adam
myself
Caton
first.
Holland.
And I'm Andrew Orvidal.
And joining us today,
special guest.
We
Oh
have
my
a
God.
special
Talk about
guest.
hunks.
Oh
Talk
my
about
God.
hunks.
and somebody that whenever I've known this person for quite some time, and this is a person that I can see has a wandering eye for hunks. He's always doing a quick up and down T2 type scan. So of them, he's saying, what is the probability of hunk that lives inside this person? Is the stasis good for here I am.
What you're doing, it's
tumbling down the hill
Keep
of
going.
riffs.
Keep going.
And we're 2 for 2 on Terminator riffs.
pH balanced.
All right, why don't we get to the guest? A lot of people said this podcast is not diverse enough. It's just three white 40-something dads. We said, well, we'll get a white 40-something guy who's not a dad. Kyle Kinane, everybody.
Yay,
Wow,
Kyle.
welcome,
how are ya?
Kinane. Welcome.
Oh, God. What uninterrupted enthusiasm.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
I'm so happy you're here, Kyle. Can I ask you something? How, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, how important are hunks in your life?
Personally, I mean, I need to know what the tallest mountain is to give me focus.
Yeah, that's so
There
fucking
you
So I see a
poetic.
hunk, and then that's perspective of like, all right, where do I get to rate myself?
And Adam, you presented
That's
this.
how you calibrate.
Yeah, Adam, you presented Kyle
exactly.
as a guest. And I says, it's never going to work because you got two comedy alpha dogs here, myself and Kyle. We're going to nip at each other's napes.
Sure.
We're going to be at each other. Oh, you know what I mean? But then Kyle comes in and he immediately gives us this philosophical stud squircle like
Right, well, I could
perspective on
sense
boys.
that Kyle's North Star has always been Mount Hunkamanjaro. And so the fact that he aligns himself to that shows that he has a worldview that's very, very simpatico with what we're doing here on this podcast.
Yeah.
And so
with Mount Hunkmore. Yeah.
Yes,
Andrew,
exactly.
I was talking.
Yeah.
Andrew, I was talking.
And Kyle, if you want to know Adam and I are very involved. We have a very developed palate for hunks. Andrew's a fucking idiot. And he has no fucking clue about hunks. So you feel free to take a few shots at old Andrew Orbital like we used to do on set. Remember when we were your boss? Okay. Now, this is going to be a fun episode. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Kyle, we had picked you because because you understand.
I just love being a backboard for whatever you're going on about here.
I'll take it. Ben's not really good at setting the table very much. I will say this. I chose the movie Point Break because I know that this is a movie very near and dear to Kyle's heart. And as mean as we are to Andrew, I also know this is a movie very near and dear to Andrew's heart. And if there's a hunk that Andrew can appreciate, it's a early 80s, mid 90s action hunk. And I just want to, our listeners may not know this movie. Kyle, do you know this movie? What does this movie mean to you?
This movie, I watched this movie for the first time, I believe, on a VHS tape with my then junior high school crush.
Oh,
nice. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Really, this movie is close to me because it's got John Philbin in it. John Philbin, not a lot of movies, but he was in, and I'm surprised you haven't gone to this movie first for hunks, North Shore.
Yeah, he was the North Shore.
Producer Ron has pulled up a shot. Yeah, absolute hunk. We'll get into the hunk parade here, but yeah, John Philbin. Yeah. This is a grade A.
And
hunk.
so by association, the movie North Shore and pretty much any surf movie as a landlocked Midwesterner, an uncoordinated, unathletic landlocked Midwesterner, I of course related to surf culture. More than I should have.
Yes, yeah. And John Philbin, North Shore. I'm gonna deep cut classic film. That is a good one. And you're right, filled a cornucopia of boys. Just brimming at the Wicker with boys. So yeah, that good
brimming
choice.
At the Wicker.
Brimming at the Wicker. It's a cornucopia.
Is that real? Is that a real?
You just shut up.
Has anybody ever said that before?
No one's ever said brimming at the Wicker, and I am all about an about face in this podcast where Ben becomes the whipping boy for such idiocy as
that. Sounds like a Marilyn Manson album.
Brimming at the Wicker.
Give it to him, Kyle. Give it to him. He needs to hear it.
He doesn't need to hear it.
Brimming at the Wicker. If you haven't seen Point Break, if you're listening to this, pause this podcast and go enjoy it because it holds up and it's a great movie. It's a movie about bank robbers who wear ex-president masks and stick up banks and the undercover FBI agent who's trying to catch them. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, and in a typical 80s twist, as if everybody was doing cocaine. Oh yeah, they're surfers. So
yes, they're and the movie presents this like it's unbelievable, like it can't be true. The movie's like, surfers? What? It's obvious that they're surfers right away.
Well, I like the stereotype of the laid-back surfer that never wants to get a job. Like bank heists it takes planning, it takes coordination. That's really breaking the stereotype of an unambitious surfer. And as we could see in that photo, I like that Gary Busey's effort is to just get an Ocean Pacific T-shirt.
That's
Gary Busey's mom took him to Target
undercover
and picked
now.
That shirt out for him.
It's me, Gary Busey, Buick-toothed surf boy.
Busey by Billabong is my favorite Busey by far.
Well, we could do this all day.
Busey surf rider,
and we will,
and we will. But let's kick it off.
Let's just look at some of the sampling as we get in here. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of hunks in this.
They went
this movie.
after it.
Okay,
there are plenty of hunks to be had in this movie, and that is for sure. I would argue this is a alpha hunk showdown, and I think we know it's leading to that. It is Patrick Swayze. It is Keanu Reeves. That is who's on the poster. That is the essence of Point Break.
I don't think that's automatically a given, though. And I'm going to
fair enough.
You're even stupider than I am.
I'm willing to hear you out. So let's list some of the auxiliary hunks real quick. And Ben, you seem chomping at the bit. Who's another hunk that you're really excited to present here today?
I mean, we have to talk about at that time, Anthony Kiedis was a hunk. He was
Anthony Kiedis is in the movie. He's part of a bad guy gang.
Yes.
And he appears in the movie. His acting is really, really bad.
Yes, and his fighting even worse so. But what a body. What a body.
This is peak Kiedis. This is running shirtless under the bridge Kiedis. And he's got
that guy, but wouldn't you be scared of Anthony Kiedis if you saw him on the beach with that haircut and all tweaked out?
So his haircut, if I could describe it, he's clearly borrowing a bit liberally from American Indians, I think. He's got kind of...
Anthony Kiedis? You mean the thing he's done his whole career?
Yeah.
It's like part mohawk, and it's got some braids coming down
his
the back.
sidekick in it, who is not an alpha hunk like Kiedis was, is Vincent Klin, whose name was Warchild.
Warchild, and he was the bad guy in Cyborg, my favorite movie when I was in high school, because that's the intellect I have.
What I like about this is the this depiction of surfers is scary. It's like Mad Max meets the beach, and these dudes are these terrifying
they pull out
surfers.
Knives and stuff, and it's implied that they're gonna like kill him. Kind of.
Yeah,
like
surfers are
him.
mean dudes. They don't like kooks. They infamously do not appreciate kooks. Which, as a kook myself, has just scared me away from the water for my life.
Right.
I'd love to be I'd love to go out there kooking around.
There's some surfers chasing Kyle back to his car.
Well, Kyle's never taken a shower.
Their girlfriend's character name is Freight Train. That's the name of a woman.
Yeah.
It's a cool nickname. I think it's probably because she's like really useful and handy. That'd be my guess.
Yeah. Can handle a tough load.
Look at the pecs and the shoulder definition.
Yeah, Vincent
striations.
He's also a surfer in real life.
Yeah,
that's how he got cast. He surfs in real life.
Yep, and
great physique, not so into the face.
Not the face, a little small, and everything got shoved down. A lot of forehead. And I feel like his eyes and his nose and his mouth are settling on his face. But the rest
he's got
of
a villain's face, and that's why they cast him as a villain.
Neck tattoo at that time was definitely not a common thing. And that back tattoo on Kiedis. Ooh, that did it for me. So I'm going to say Anthony Kiedis is up there for me, y'all. I got to throw it out there.
Okay,
so Ben has presented Kiedis as a hunk worthy of winning
Swayze
Point
and
Break.
Keanu, which is pretty insane. But
Andrew, is there anyone you would like to present as another hunk to even be considered?
Honestly, I don't know if I would put anyone in the final two. As Kyle mentioned, John Philbin, who plays Nathaniel, this is a solid hunk. He's got this almost like a Carrie Elwes Princess Bride kind of mustache goatee look that he's rocking. Definite hunk.
I'll play a little inside
hunk.
baseball. It's where Sean Jordan meets Carl Hess.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you want to Google those comedians
and if
while
you're
you're listening
worried
to this?
that you don't know what the movie Point Break is, you're definitely going to get that reference.
I said inside baseball. I prefaced it.
Yeah.
The unconnected mustache goatee is a hard thing to pull off, and he's doing it here.
Are we just going pure physicality? Are we giving
We're in the
points
shallow
elsewhere?
end of the pool here.
Okay, because I'm going to call him Turtle. He's Turtle forever. Turtle, he still seems to have some spirituality. I believe it was him around the campfire that had a little more sentimentality
A
for
little
what
more
was
to
happening.
say. He is very likable. Of the bank robbers, he's one of the likable guys. He also seems to be the bank robber who Patrick Swayze is the saddest to see get killed at the end.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
But Kyle, that's a great question. We always try to look at just the hunkitude, but sometimes you can't help it. Their heart bleeds into it, and I think this is a case. This is a case.
All right, because if we're just objectifying them based on pure physicality, John C. McGinley.
The asshole's asshole, John C. McGinley is in here in prime
We're taking
form.
attitude away from it.
Yep. At that time,
McGinley does it for me in an old-timey way.
Every time you see this guy come on screen in any movie, you're like, here comes the asshole of this film. And you are rewarded every time.
Yeah,
You find this hunky, though, Kyle? I find this kind of just like, oh, who's this annoying banker? I get that energy.
But that's
the
the
shots that producer
characters
Ron's
he
putting
plays.
up are not the hunkiest shots, but he has some hunky moments. He's got kind of high sleeves.
But that's what I asked. If we're taking away personality and all these other elements, going just looks, sometimes you want like a little snotty looking fella, you know?
Yeah.
He's still good. He's good looking for the category that he would fall
This is
into.
peak hunky McGinley. There he is yelling like Ben Roy in Those Who Can't with
Which
his sleeves up.
Thanks. Yeah.
We try to keep it scientific, but inevitably the heart does enter the equation. So it's hard to not get into the aura of these people, the vibe they give off. So I can see it. So, okay, McGinley's been presented. I have no one else I'd like to discuss because I've known who I've wanted to discuss this entire fucking time.
You're out of your
We'll
mind.
get there, but producer Ron, if you could show us just a few more, just so we can.
No, I want to add one because it's on the list, and you're out of your mind. Gromit, played by Bo Jesse Christopher, and you're out of your mind. This was a hunk during that movie. That's not.
I thought that was River Phoenix for most of the movie.
Exactly, because that is a fucking prime hunk in his like.
He's got some Hanson hair. He's got a flannel.
Yeah, and there's a '90s type vibe right
very
there.
much so.
Yeah, I
Did
like.
anyone
like
ever
when-
know Bo Jesse could be a name before this?
I did not.
I did
It's
not.
just
If
a
we're
cool
going
combo
names-
of two names.
There's another guy named Dino Andino. That's his name. Almost
I mean,
as if there
sometimes
was
you're
a
rushed
duo
at the
of-
hospital. You're stressed.
If there was two
They want-
Dinos,
they want the name
let's sang
right
together.
there.
The reason that came about is the mom was naming the kid and asked, "Who's my father?" And the mom said, "Dino and Dino." And she had
they didn't
two
know
Dino-
Junior. They didn't know how to. They didn't know how to employ Junior.
No,
yet.
exactly.
So this is Dino and Dino.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an old world junior.
Sounds like
But speaking
an
of
Italian restaurant.
Dino Andino, not too hard on the eyes either. Played Psycho.
That's what
Stick.
I was hoping to see. Yeah, I like this.
Producer Ron,
character name.
do we have a shot of Dino and Dino? No,
Yeah, very bit
don't.
part.
Well, we'll all have to Google that on our own time, thus giving Dino Andino an incredible Google alert wherever he is right now.
We throw in Lori Petty in the mix as a handsome woman.
I mean, I had a huge crush on Lori Petty in this movie, but that's not what this podcast is about.
All right, I'm just checking.
I think this is the first time I saw a woman with short hair, and I was like, "Whoa, that's hot."
Yep. Yeah, I'd agree. A little like more playing it more androgynous, definitely leaning more towards the masculine side, but still so attractive. But that's not what we're doing here. We're not objectifying women. That's gross. We're objectifying men. So
And
that's hot.
Fine.
And that's
Yeah.
hot. That's just science.
Shout out to one of the bad guys, the Nazi surfers named Bunker. Gave me a real producer Ron vibe.
Oh, well,
producer
let's see
Ron
it.
had kind of a goatee. He's the surfer that pulls a knife on Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
I got
I
kind of
can
a
see
Ron
that.
Doyle. This is Ron. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Ron in the '90s here with his big hoop earrings.
Yep.
And his goatee.
Yep. Got the trident goatee. That's not one you
Very
see a
producer
lot.
Ron, yes.
And
You got to have the chin real estate to get it down there.
And then I also think, yeah, I mean, anytime you're talking about hunks, Roach, James LaGrosse,
I was gonna say this guy.
this guy is hunky. That's a
He's
hunk.
got some
Look at
classic
me.
hunk
gives me
vibes.
a
He's a little
Timothy.
vanilla for me. As soon as I saw him, I was like,
You know what I see here?
This is a
the
vanilla
singer
bean
of
hunk.
Ugly Kid Joe. Everything will think about you. Wow.
I can see
Everything
it.
about you. Remember that song?
A band that was popular
I was gonna
while
go
people
Timothy
were watching this
Oliphant.
movie.
Oh, I like it. I could see the eyes.
Yeah, I could see
the
that.
scowl.
I could see that.
Yeah. Well, I think those are all good choices. I would put Kiedis in a top 3 for me. Of course, it is unfortunately going to be, for me, the top 3 are going to be Anthony Kiedis, Keanu Reeves, and Patrick Swayze.
So let's get to the main course here. This is what, as Adam said, the poster advertised. And if you have any familiarity with this movie, you are remembering two bona fide hunks in their absolute prime, Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. Ben can put Ketis in the top 3. He's wasting ours and your time.
He's not wasting time. He's presenting an idea that maybe you hadn't looked at.
Ketis is such a distant third here
he's not,
that he's not even going to get up on the podium.
All right, Ron, you got to stop it. You got to stop it right now. It is getting too controversial. The takes are getting too hot. And we're not going to give that type of gold away. It's the type of gold you can only get when you support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Grawlix Saves. You know, you got back episodes of Boi Crazy. You got the rest of this episode, and there's a lot more that you did not hear in that snippet. There's ad-free episodes. There's bonus contents. There's birthday shout-outs. You get a welcome video from Ben when you join at the Ben level that is frankly disturbing. So follow us on Patreon to get all of those perks. We'll be back with another regular episode of the Grawlix Saves the World on Tuesday. Until then, my friends, I urge you sincerely to stay Boi Crazy.
We're just a train.